Hello Internet, I'm HamsterBomb.
And I'm Kimothy, and we're here for another show and tell video for TCG this time.
Yay!
We're starting it. Yeah, it's the same series. It's a mini series within the series, right?
Yeah, we'll just say it's still Pokemon Collections. It's the same thing. We're just going to be starting a lot of Pokemon TCG stuff because we have a lot of Pokemon cards. Mainly, Kim had a lot of Pokemon cards, and now I can say we have a lot of Pokemon cards.
We have a lot of Pokemon cards.
That's what these things are for. It means I can claim her property.
Yeah.
So, anyway, before we get started, we wanted to do a quick intro because for the TCG stuff, we're not going to be able to have our face cams in, as you saw a few times back. It doesn't really work very well with showing you guys when we're going to cut into actually showing all the cards in the binders. So right now we have like a background that I wanted to quickly explain before we moved on to the set. This is a big frame shebang thing that I made a while ago, kind of taking a bunch of cards from... They're the foil rares from base down to the uncommons of base, and then starting once again with the foils of jungle to the uncommons. That added up to like just the amount of space that I had in here. So all I really did, if you guys want to do this at home, you can. I just got some foam core and double stick tape, stuck a bunch of penny sleeves to it, and put the cards in it. Like, I could pull these out right now if I want to. And we're actually going to, after this, to show you guys these cards. Because some of these up here, like I said, base, we're going to be seeing because that's where we're starting, right?
Correct. So our first video here that we're going to have is for our base collection.
Our base collection. Base. The first one.
Pokemon base collection.
The original set of Pokemon cards.
Right.
Which they actually did not show all the 150 Pokemon cards in that. It was a big set, though. But that is for the later ones. We're going to get to those. But for now, we can take a look at base right now.
Alright, so here we have our base set starting. I wanted to go into a little bit of different detail about it. So sets were organized a little bit different than what they are today. They were originally, they went from foil rares, non-foil rares, uncommons, commons, trainers, then energies.
I'm here too. I didn't go anywhere.
With and nowadays I know they go by types, and then within those types they go rare, uncommon, common, I believe. I don't think they do it.
No, they don't. It just goes alphabetically by type.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like that at all.
Okay, I'm crazy then.
So, starting with the first ones in here, this is alphabetical by rarity. So, like she said, we're going to start with foil rares, because this is actually, if you pull these guys out, which he's actually kind of tight to get out because of our stands kind of in the way. But just to get an example, here, can I move this down?
Try.
Thanks. Kim was in my ways. So, if we had a better look at him, Alakazam, I mean, we're not getting like the perfect, most sharp focus. Actually, if you held it, I could handle that at the same time.
Okay. So I feel like, what were you going to talk about? Just how the foil looks?
The numbering, too, so that they, like, really understand what I was trying to tell them.
Here, I'll get it as close as I can.
Thank you. Much
there we
better.
Go.
So you can see down in that bottom right corner, it says 1 of 92. Is that right? How many cards were in base?
102.
102. The foil's also very subtle if you kind of move them around. There you see it. I liked the old foils.
I love the old foils so much more. Now, we have complaints about other foils, too. You know, that's almost a top 10 video. Rate your top 10 foil
gosh,
cards.
I'm not doing that. Unless it turns out I've got, like, serious opinions.
And with the base set, the base doesn't have any icons on it.
Right, there were no icons in base. There was no reason to distinguish against anything.
Right, and our rarities are down here in the corner with the older cards. I think it's like
always
the new cards.
It does the same thing, yeah.
Right, and it's still, you know... Star, diamond, circle.
Right. Even if it's a foil rare, it's still just a star.
We've always got, you know, and there were still, like, some abilities, basic, you know, weakness, resistance, which always gets wonky, and Alex always has complaints about weaknesses and resistances in the cards games.
Yeah.
And they always have some flavor text down here at the bottom.
Typically, those are what the Pokedex said. Typically. Some of them, I mean, they started changing that, but typically that was what your Pokedex said in either red or blue.
And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the HP of
and the damage, like a foil rare Alakazam does 30 damage.
Right.
With 3 energy.
If you pick up any, like, strong card nowadays.
Oh, no, a Caterpie today could probably beat him. I know, that's... Like, that's like the opposite of what like Magic the Gathering did, where I feel like they were consistent the whole way through, and like old cards could still beat new ones.
Right.
Generally, they come up with some crazy stuff now that's like too good, but for the sake of argument, Pokemon cards then would never ever be able to beat Pokemon cards today.
Right, and they change with
sad.
just every year. I think they changed. They knocked out old cards and made them.
So, alphabetically, we can see in here, these are just foils, so you kind of saw the foil. Each one of these is going to be like that.
It's got that same type of foil on it.
Because there will be... Actually, there are not duplicates of these guys in base. In the other ones later, there will be, but for now, if it's foil in base, it is just a foil rare card. So there is no non-foil Alakazam or Blastoise or Chansey. You might see a lot of Chanseys and Machamps, though, because these guys were released in,
booster,
like decks.
Deck.
Like
a builder deck?
A deck that was already pre-built. They still make those today.
Yes.
We'll get to Machamp in a bit about that. But
okay,
actually,
let's go.
Hitmonchan also might have had one. I think he did.
He did, yes.
Okay, so anyway, Blastoise is another really cool one. I like the Blastoise card.
I think I only have one of that Blastoise, too.
Really?
Yeah, Alakazam, I only have one of Blastoise. Chansey, I do have
Everyone's
two
got a bunch of them. I got more of those.
Yeah.
Charizard's everyone's old favorite.
Right, and I did used to...
You want to take a look at him?
I just want to point out that I used to have 4 Charizards, but 4 base Charizards, because, you know, I was buying them when they first came out back in the day and trading them with people. So that was a pretty hot commodity. I could get just about any card I wanted trading with people. So yeah, even in the day he was super rare and valuable, and he still is today, which is nice.
I think he was actually more rare and valuable then. Like he was actually valued at about $100. And now you can probably pick one up for in great condition and without
40?
being if he's not shadowless, he's not first edition, he's just a normal like that one.
Right.
He's probably somewhere between 8 to 20.
And shadowless,
he's
that's
really not
something
that
we need to talk about, actually.
When we come across it, which
it's actually with the next card, so...
Oh, yeah, you're right. I was going to say, I know Machamp up here is shadow. Oh, my Gyarados is, too. Is that my Gyarados? Or...
Yeah, that's your Gyarados.
Awesome. Actually, almost half the cards on this whole page are shadowless, but yeah, that Charizard is a real cool one.
This damage is crazy. HP 120... His attack was 100?
Yeah,
that could wipe out anything.
Yeah, but you also had to discard 2 energy cards just to play that attack. So that was fair. My favorite part about this card, though, is the fact that the fire he's breathing is in the foil. It's not in the foreground.
I also like the fact that he's not that Kin Sugimori drawing that you did with the Blastoise and the Alakazam and Chansey.
Yeah, it's very typical. I like it. What is this? Arita? Is the artist's name?
Arita. Yeah, that's Arita.
Yeah, he's... or she, I really don't know. Honestly, I can't even tell the gender of
Matsuhiro.
Matsuhiro,
so that's
a male. Yeah. You know, the last time I read that, I was about 8. So it's amazing. I remembered that Arita made the good art. Okay.
Yeah. So there are like, what, 2 different artists? 2 or 3 different artists.
About 3. So yeah, you got
sets?
Ken Sugimori, who's doing these typical. You recognize these drawings. Ken Sugimori did the typical Pokemon illustrations. Matsuhiro Arita did some of these. I think this is Arita too. And then there's some.
Keiji's doing the 3D ones. Keiji.
I don't remember.
Kinbuchi?
There was another. I thought there was another.
There's multiple
person.
3D persons.
Not just that. I thought there was another person. Whatever. So Clefairy, if you want to take a look at.
So Clefairy, this is the one that we're gonna get into. It's a little bit more different now.
Actually, here, since you got pull them both because you got the you have the ability to show both.
Here.
So these would first...
One of these cards is not like the other.
Yeah, basically, you would at first probably... This is actually a thing that is exclusive to base set. You won't see this in any other Pokemon card set, as far as I'm aware.
Correct, yeah. You won't see this anywhere else.
The original Pokemon cards, you can tell they're older than the other ones, even if they don't have a first edition stamp, is the one that Kim's holding on the left side. And the reason is because it does not have a little... black shadow on this side of the card art. You see that right there? That is the shadow. So when we say shadowless, it means, like this one, it has no shadow there. It is a shadowless card. You can also tell by the font, it's a little less bold up here for the HP.
There's usually some color variations between them as well, but
like
your biggest indicator is that shadow.
Just check that shadow and you'll know for sure. Right. Yeah, there's some other things that'll help you identify.
I remember at one point I didn't understand exactly what shadowless were, but I knew I had cards that looked different, and I didn't know what that meant.
And typically shadowless Pokemon cards are way more valuable than normal ones.
Correct. So
I have seen some that are also having the first edition stamp. I
don't think that's possible.
I'm pretty sure I saw one. But either way, I'm not sure. I don't own one.
Because the Shadowless came out before the first edition.
It did, yes. These are before first edition, and that's why people like them so much. Because if you can make, like this, if you can make an entire base finished collection of all the cards, that's cool and all. But there's variations of each card, and we mix them up, of course. Like, later you're going to see in here, we've got, like, some Japanese card variants and stuff like that.
Right.
We're still on the first page for crying out loud.
Oh, I know, but there's so much to talk about on this first page.
Gyarados here, this is not a really great shot of him, but
he is also another
I also have a Shadowless Gyarados.
He's,
very
you can
proud
see
of
this
him.
actually a lot better with this card than you can with the Clefairy. You can see that color variation
and
in
the text.
The blue and on him. Actually on him himself.
Yeah, he looks very green in the original one.
And this is another one of those where he's doing like a I don't know, was that Hydro Pump or something? Attack with his mouth and it's in the foil.
Sure.
Versus but we usually Gyarados were everywhere. Oh my gosh, Gyarados was a very common rare.
He was also in a deck, I think. That's why.
Yeah.
So Hitmonchan, another one that was also in the deck. This one's not. He's got a Shadow, not particularly special. It's another foil.
And this one we have.
There's a conversation going down with Machamp because like everybody has the Machamp.
But this Machamp. Oh no, we just contradicted ourselves because I thought it didn't happen, but it did happen.
Where's your other one? Is it just me who has them? Why don't you have more? You really not have the Machamp foil that everybody has?
Where is my Machamp?
So basically, let me explain what that means. So Machamp, this foil is all over the place because it was in the first deck that they pre-built and was sent out. He was the big card that you got in it, and he was first edition, so everyone was all excited, like, oh, you have a first edition Machamp. Is it special? No, it's not special. They're extremely common because they released them in that deck. But this one, see here's one right here.
Exactly,
first edition
and
Shadowless. I know it could happen at the same time, but granted, this could be that in-between time between Shadowless and first edition.
Right, where they were trying to fix it. Well, that's why he came out with the deck, and then all of a sudden he was first edition when he wasn't meant to be printed in first edition.
I don't. This is a weird one, because the Machamps are supposed to be with their shadows, but what I always took this to mean was this must have actually been a Machamp from a Shadowless pack.
A Shadowless pack that was also
first edition, which means that by same chances it could have landed on a Shadowless first edition Charizard.
Right.
and it instead landed on the most
most
cheap
one.
The one that nobody wants. But
and then we have a Magneton, where we started doing some of the 3D imagery.
He looks pretty cool, but he's pretty simple.
He's a very simple design for him.
He's got a self-destruct down there for killing himself. We can finally turn the page and look at some more cards. You can see where the foil ends here, and one thing I want to point out, foil ends here. The regular rares in this set, like I said, this is going to be
not duplicates.
Right. In the sets we're going to see later, they would actually take what your rare would be basically a non-foil version of what you could have gotten up in here, which was a nice way to let people get a better chance at it. They didn't do that here, which when we get to uncommons, I'll talk about like how rare it would have been to actually play like Dragonite and Pidgeot, considering how, first of all, Dragonite's in Fossil and Pidgeot is in Jungle.
Yeah.
But you need to get the regular rares of the middle stages in base, and like it's insane. But
I just want to go through this page first and point out that we also have a Shadowless Mewtwo.
This is my Shadowless Mewtwo.
That is Alex's Shadowless Mewtwo.
That is Alex's Shadowless Mewtwo.
What happened to the their R's thing that she said earlier?
Okay, yeah, you're right. If it was mine originally, it's ours. If it was Kim's originally, it's Kim's. That's how it goes.
Wait, no, you said the opposite. I said you said if it was mine originally.
It was a joke. It was.
Oh, okay.
It was a funny joke, and the internet got it, and you didn't.
I missed it, guys. I missed it. Actually, Alex.
I think these two were both in decks.
Yes.
Not the Shadowless one. I don't think they ever did that in decks.
Nidoking was definitely in deck. He was very common.
Not Ninetales.
Not Ninetales. Actually, this card, when I was around, was actually very difficult to find. I barely had one of it.
Oh yeah, he was a harder to find one.
Poliwrath was also in a deck. as well.
Mhm.
Raichu was not.
Which, this is
Raichu
really
was in
generous
sets.
that they were doing that because of how hard it was to get your hands on these
and
cards.
they were actually the numbers of the set too.
That's
I know
true.
some decks now they're gonna be numbered their own thing. They're not even gonna be part
well,
of this. Set.
That's not entirely true.
Some of them.
Some
I'm
of
saying
them.
some
Right.
of them, not all of them.
Yeah. What I loved about, or more hated about, like, this Mewtwo, I don't want to keep going back to him, but was the fact that how weak he was. What, he has 60 HP?
Oh, I never used Mewtwo.
And
to
his
fight with.
psychic
never.
is 10 plus?
Never. No.
I was like, hold on. That one for sure at Caterpie today can beat the old Mewtwo.
Right.
Just logic that for a minute. Venusaur looks like a really strong card.
Yeah, it was.
He just whips out 60s and has 100 HP.
Well, he doesn't just whip it out as often as you...
No, I mean, like, every turn. I mean, for the same amount of energy, Charizard does 100, but he has to pay with 2 energy cards. Venusaur can just constantly use 60. Same deal for Raichu. He can do 60 with that, but he has to, like, flip a coin or he does damage to himself.
Right.
I mean, like, there's always something.
So, and then this is the first bird that we have is Zapdos. Does that even make sense?
The first legendary
bird
yeah.
that we have is Zapdos.
Yeah, the second, I know.
Not,
yeah, they probably should have
pretty
put...
simple art for that.
I think they would have put one in each set. I don't know why they did this.
He
but...
actually has better art in a later set that we'll see here and in our video. We have Beedrill, Dragonair. This is like one of your favorite cards. You did an art project of this Dragonair.
Yeah, I painted that because it's awesome. It's
like
Arita again.
We had to do like a paint by color thing for school anyway.
God, it was so stupid.
It
was in college, and
it was a college class.
We were doing paint by freaking numbers practically. Man, I should have asked if they wanted me to glue some macaroni to it while they were at it. All right, anyway,
don't know why they did Dugtrio, but he's Dugtrio 3D.
These are regular rares, non-foils.
These are still rares here.
Yeah, we started with Beedrill, so this would be like, these are the rares you would get in your pack.
Right. So you don't always get a holo rare every pack.
Yeah, that's why we started over alphabetically. Zapdos was last, and Beedrill we're starting over. Electabuzz was...
Electabuzz, common, Kintsuga Moriart. I think...
Common?
No, I mean, his artwork is what's common. But the card is a rare.
If you say so, sure.
That's Kintsuga Moriart. It's everywhere.
I understand. I would... whatever. I don't know why you called his art common, but keep going.
Because you will see this this Electabuzz printed like this multiple times throughout sets.
Okay.
And actually in the background it's actually a photograph laid over as his back.
Huh?
That's a photograph of a lightning bolt. That's not a painting. That's not 3D art. It's a photograph. So it's just...
Okay.
We haven't seen that yet throughout the rest of the set.
Okay.
Anyway.
Oh boy!
I'm just saying what I think's interesting about it. You haven't seen that yet in this set.
All right, keep going.
And then we have another 3D art one. See, that's KG again. Electrode.
Yeah, the lame Electrode.
I really wanted this Electrode to be foil.
Oh, really? There's a really cool foil one coming in Jungle.
Cool. He barely has any foil.
Kim's very wrong. He's very cool. Pidgeotto.
And that's what you were pointing out about trying to evolve.
How stupid. Well, it's the exact same with Dragonair.
Right.
Can you see what's going on here? These sets, or to play these Pokemon, it's just as hard to play Dragonite's line as it is to play Pidgey's line. What is going on? They would go in the same deck nicely, though. But
and then we start over again with our alphabetical with our uncommons.
Right. So we got Arcanine. I remember he was a good card.
He was a good card. He is a good... Well, he was.
Charmeleon. That's a Shadowless Charmeleon.
Yeah, it's Shadowless Charmeleon. I always love this Dugong. I don't know why he's got bubbles. I love him.
I have a Shadowless Dugong, but he's not in this binder.
For the longest time, I didn't realize he was underwater. I always thought he was flying.
Probably a good time to mention, much later in this series, we're going to do a binder of mine. If I reference my blue binder, it's a bunch of cards of basically these old ones that I kept in dex number order, not in set order like Kim's. And we'll eventually get into that and show it, because if I mention I have that version, that's where it is. It's not here. So yeah, we got also...
Actually, all of these use photography. Sorry, I was just saying they're examining them.
I know. I was like, I don't know why you were so excited about...
It was the first one you saw in the set. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway.
Whatever. Dratini and Farfetch'd are... Yeah.
Yep, Farfetch'd. Probably the worst haunter that's coming up.
He always, to me, looked like he was always coming out of a big gray butt crack. but it's actually a hallway.
He's floating down a hallway, guys.
I
He's not coming out of a butt
I
crack.
never saw the hallway until you told me it was a hallway. My whole life, I always thought Haunter just lived in the depths of that man's butt crack. You don't see it? It's the butt crack's right there, and here's the big cheeks on either side.
Okay, but then here's... Okay.
No, I don't see anything.
I'm just gonna let you go with that.
It's too dark. It's too dark. I don't know what you're talking about. A lot of Ken Sugimoris on this page.
Yeah. Well,
Growlithe, Ivysaur, Jinx, Kadabra.
Not this Magikarp. That's Irida.
Machoke is. Yeah, the Magikarp is. Magmar is also a Ken Sugimori art.
The Jinx, I think I wanted to talk about because let's see if I can even get it.
Oh, is this? No, this is Purple Jinx.
The Shadowless is.
Do you need some help? Here, let me do it. My hand can get in.
I got
this
it.
side.
Oh no, they're all Purple Jinx.
Yeah.
It's the first edition.
Can you please show us?
Sorry, I was looking at. See, this is another where you can tell this is like a blue versus this is a purple again with the Shadowless.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jinx was always purple on the cards. I'm pretty sure.
No, I think the first edition's black.
I don't think so.
I have a Tomy that's black.
Yes.
That came out after the
But
cards.
the purple on here, I think, was actually just an artistic touch.
It does look more like an artistic touch because...
And they kind of got away with it. Yeah.
Because that would just blend into the background if it was
exactly.
black.
So they might have dodged that racism bullet just by sheer luck. I don't think that was intentional. You've got enough Jinxes? Alright, let's keep going. Shadowless Magikarp, too. I'm happy because this one's also mine, and I've got...
Shadowless Gyarados.
The whole Shadowless line. Actually, Machoke and Magmar here are Shadowless, and so's Kakuna. So hopefully you guys can kind of... Oh, same for Growlithe.
Jinx and Growlithe.
Jinx and Growlithe. So hopefully you can, like, start picking this out, because once you see that, you'll eventually be able to, like, flip through cards really quick at stores and be able to figure out which ones... Yeah, you'll see it right away.
Like, it's really... The only ones that matter a lot, I think, with the Shadowless are these
typically
foil
yeah,
ones.
like
yeah.
don't get excited buying Shadowless commons and uncommons and thinking that you're running across a lot of money.
Yeah.
You're not. Maybe a quarter. I'm sorry. They're just for cool collecting things.
There's another story I have to get to when we get to our a collection later about that.
We're almost done with uncommons, I think.
Let's see where uncommon stop here.
Bulbasaur's the first common.
Yes. No.
It's alphabetical.
Metapod's the first common.
That doesn't make any sense.
Why is he 54? Oh my gosh, it's in the wrong spot.
Kim messed it up.
No, guys!
Kim messed it up.
I'm gonna cry.
Kim messed it. Let's just go as is, and she'll fix it later.
Oh, I need to fix it
now.
now.
No, you don't need to fix it now. Kim, don't fix it now. Everything will have to move. Let's look at the cards. just here.
No,
let me. I gotta hold her hands back.
That's 45. Okay.
What did you do?
Whatever. Bulbasaur.
She screwed everything up.
Metapod is also common.
I always hated that Porygon card.
Me too.
That's so bad. It was bad at the time.
Right.
I mean, I was, this, like, VeggieTales was out, and, like, that was, like, halfway decent CG animated videos. This is a still frame image. It doesn't even need to move, and it looks terrible.
They don't even have shadows in the background.
I know.
They're polys.
Porygon's not even casting a shadow.
No.
Whatever.
It looks so bad.
Raticate's another Ken Sugimori, Seal, Wartortle, Metapod, Caterpie's all Ken Sugimori.
Yeah.
I always like that Bulbasaur
this is
card.
Arita.
He's farting out of his back.
Yeah, he's doing a little
fart volcano.
He's doing Leech Seed. That's what he says he's doing on his card.
Sure, except it's like causing a huge windstorm.
So yeah. We're just starting to get into the comments, so it's like
yeah, well we got like there's a Shadowless Charmander, Diglett, Machop.
I actually always like this guy.
Hey, actually we have his whole Shadowless line. I just realized that. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Machop's whole Shadowless line we have in here. Actually, there's a Japanese one showing up in here. We do have the normal. We just kind of wanted to show the Japanese. He's just on top. But he's just more the placeholder for where that number's supposed to be. But now the validity of this binder's number organization is all up for question right now because Kim goofed it.
It's the Abra. Abra and Metapod are in the wrong spots.
And then that's Yellow Cheeks Pikachu. That one's supposed to be...
Yeah, that's the... this is what happened, guys. This card just flipped. That was the problem.
What are you talking about?
It fell out. Metapod is behind this.
Oh, it's Abra. Oh, yeah. She took this out and she rearranged it backwards. You can actually fix that. Like,
yeah, see? Look.
Never mind. You can fix it. That's no big deal.
Thank you.
This is what it was supposed to be. Abra was our first common. Kim, you moved everybody.
Sorry.
Abra is the first common. Oops. I really like this card.
I've always liked that Abra.
I don't know where he is, but he's
I always thought he was in a savannah somewhere.
It looks like it. Yeah, he's in a very Abra place.
I always thought it looked like the
That's
Lion
Arita
King
again? It's a nice
yeah,
painting.
I think that's Arita. Because Arita goes and he paints the backgrounds too.
Yeah, we don't get Pokemon cards like that anymore.
No. Oh, look how much better
they're gonna hire him. Yes, much better. The world is at peace.
I loved this Ghastly so much.
Hold on, it's like the same as the Haunter. What do you like about that one?
I don't know. He's got like graffiti in the background. He's in the gang. I don't know. He lives on the streets.
He's in the gang?
He lives on the streets. He's Ghastly.
I see. That's a really dark Diglett. It's like...
Well, that's a shadowless one.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Actually, no, she's right though. That actually does make a difference. That's why he looks deeper in color than the normal ones. Yeah, a bunch like Drowsy. Actually, Hypno is not in this set.
He is not. No, he's in
That's
Fossil.
just weird. I was gonna say this. Same for there's no Weezing. I don't think.
No, there's not.
Weird. They were doing stuff like this, driving people berserk. Though you could play, as we saw, Dratini and Pidgey, so you could at least get to Pidgeotto and Dragonair. But you could not do Pidgeot or Dragonite.
Alakazam is completely in this set.
Same for Machamp.
And Machamp is completely in this set.
And the starters. I don't know about any other three stages.
Poliwrath.
Yeah, Poliwrath too. There's probably some others that I'm not thinking of, but whatever. Onyx is in here. Cool one.
Yeah.
This is back when Magnemite was electric, and what steel type?
Right.
These guys were no big deal in the main game. I remember when Gold and Silver came out, Magnemite and Magneton were like terrifying to run into in the game all of a sudden because you couldn't just hit them with anything. You don't like kids today don't understand what that's like. Like training yourself to hit something like this normally, and then all of a sudden next generation you hit the same Pokemon and it doesn't work anymore. But I could have sworn that, like, there's a bunch of different kinds of Pikachu cards like this, where, I could have sworn the... Can you pull them out and show us all the ones you have in here?
They're all the same.
You're sure?
Yeah. They're not the special one you're talking about.
No, I'm pretty sure Yellow Cheek Pikachu was, the one that was weird. But, anyway, there was a Red Cheek one at one point, and, I thought the Yellow Cheek was the weird one. I'm not sure. I gotta look into it. I wasn't prepared for that because I mean
his tail is also purple. His black is purple.
Oh, and his ears. So. I think it looks better like that.
Yeah, I mean I liked this Pikachu. This is one of my
Can we vote down in the comments right now? Fat Pikachu or modern Pikachu? Who's better? I vote Fat Pikachu.
Fat Pikachu.
I like Fat Pikachu. My Fat Pikachu has my vote.
He has no neck. Mice don't just have necks.
I just like I don't know his itty bitty ears and itty bitty tail to how fat his body is. That's the proportion. That's what I want.
And it's Arita too.
Yes, it is.
Fat Pikachu.
We have the mighty top percentage of Rattata. Some Ken Sugimori art from Poliwag Ponyta.
Just look at that Poliwag. Like, what is it looking at?
I don't know.
Where are its eyes going?
That's a nice Squirtle, though.
Yeah, I
always thought he was standing on a giant thing of grapes.
There's no Wartortle in this? No, there is.
Yeah, there's Wartortle.
Okay.
We passed him.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we said that.
Yeah, I was gonna just kind of pull him up without pulling him out.
You cannot do Rapidash in this set though either. It's just Pony.
Oh yeah, there is no Rapidash. The Nidoran lines could be finished too. Didn't think of those.
Yeah, Nidoran.
Butterfree Beedrill also. So there was a good amount of 3 sets in here.
Yeah.
We're not gonna deal with like reading the trainers or anything. We don't really care. Plus, clearly Kim has like so many duplicates she didn't even know what to do with herself.
Oh my gosh, so many trainers.
This blew my mind. Like, why is Starmie common? I didn't get that at all, but...
That cannot be the set order. Oh, no,
That is.
That is, because it's alphabetical.
Yeah, it's alphabetical. Right. Starmie comes before Staryu.
See, I always had this to go on. The only thing I had of Tangela, I had no idea what this creature looked like. Like, because he's just a mangled mess.
Oh, and you never played the game. So as far as you, because he's cropped on all sides, you didn't know where he ended.
Right.
That's weird.
Just think about that.
He's actually pretty rare in the game. As far as I know, he's only in one patch of grass below Pallet Town.
Common.
I know. It's all... Yeah. This reminds me of what Pokemon Go does. They take Pokemon that are really rare and they make them too common. Like Murkrows are everywhere.
Right,
And,
what?
Yeah, they screw everything up. But that's a cool Voltorb. That's a decent Vulpix. It's just a Kensugimorion, but the background's interesting.
Background's lame.
Are you just here to disagree with me for everything I say? Weedle, I like it, so therefore Kim hates it.
No, I like the Weedle.
No, she definitely hates it because I said I like it.
Now, I kind of do want to talk about the trainers a little bit.
They actually had a lot of rare trainers, which
there
I'm
were
sure
a lot of rare
infuriated
trainers,
people.
Which were difficult to get.
I'm sure.
They were very difficult to get.
Well, yeah, because think about it, you could have gotten, a Dragonair or a Pidgeotto.
One of these.
Looks like you have two.
Maybe two.
Yeah, so Clefairy, very rare, and Computer Surge.
I remember
this actually
last
came
being
back
pretty rare,
as one of those ace spec cards.
Yes.
As a foil rare, and people were pissed because they were getting rare trainers. Imagine if it wasn't all shiny. That's what it's like to open this.
Right. I don't feel like
Spray.
they even really do rare trainers that much anymore. Do trainers still
Oh
have
yeah.
rarity?
Oh Kim, we have secret rare full art trainers.
Oh my
Trust
gosh.
me.
Right.
It gets
Supporter
so
cards.
much worse than this. This was just the onset of true hell. Wait, regular Professor Oak is in here later, right? As a common.
Yeah, he's a common,
Okay,
but you
I
get
was
the
gonna say.
imposter professor.
Yeah, some random people like Lass, Pokemon Breeder.
Trader.
You know what's great? You couldn't breed in Pokemon until the 2nd generation. I was always confused about that card. So I was like, that's gross. And then Gen 2 came out and I was like, that's cool. Pokemon Trader. Ooh, that's actually cool because it's actually from a little girl in the game, but that's the only way to get Farfetch'd in your game. You have to trade in game with it. And then he's in the wild in Johto, and I was mad because that didn't make any sense. Because as far as I was aware, Farfetch'd just belonged to that one little girl.
I feel like this poor Weedle's just panicking,
Oh, he totally is.
Eyes.
Yeah, he's freaking out. Super Energy.
What I find funny is that this...
Actually, no, are these rare still?
No,
yeah, that's Super Energy Removal is
rare.
Still a rare.
This is an uncommon that starts right
here. Yikes, these are all rares.
Right.
These are rares.
I'd like to point out that
Scoop Up is a rare?
They still use these images today.
Yeah, they do.
They use that on that Ace Trainer card. It is that image.
Well, I mean, some of the base cards we passed also get used today. They're just kind of famous for that. So are we finally at the end?
Defender, I've never used
Are we finally
that
at the
card.
end here?
No! More trainers!
We can go a little quicker, just kind of read these. These are uncommon trainers, so you might recognize some energy removals. These really have no value at all, though. The only ones of trainer cards of value are those rare ones, because they're just hard to find. Bills. Bill.
And Professor Oak. And the original Pokedex.
Bill's just a normal guy. In your Pokemon set.
Why is the poor Weedle that gets picked on every time?
Man, if only Switch was like Weedle and a Dragonite. That would have been perfect.
Look at this Kakuna. He's gonna take down this Magnemite. I don't know why we're talking about this.
Anyway, so this, since it was the first set, energy cards showed up.
Weird energies. So, this is the only
I wouldn't consider it.
energy.
I wouldn't consider it weird because it was the first set. So yeah, special. You're only allowed to have 4 of those. That rule still applies.
For the double colorless?
Yeah, I mean, think of how broken your deck would be if you just played colorless Pokemon. Yeah,
okay.
that's why they did that. So anyway, that's basically it. You guys probably recognize energy cards. These should look familiar to you.
I would hope these look familiar.
This means it's fire, and this one means it's water type.
These were the only types you had back then.
I was gonna elaborate the joke. I know it was grass. I was joking, but Kim started talking, and then it sounded like I was an idiot, and I was gonna have people in the comments later to tell me I was wrong.
Why did you need to elaborate? I don't think.
Because I was saying it was water, and then you cut me off, and I was like, "Great! Now people are gonna think I was serious." There's a little peek at some cool stuff coming later in the next video. We're gonna be taking a look at Jungle and Fossil next time. We already spent a long time digging through just base, and I knew
base is a large set.
And I knew this was going to take a while because this is our first one we're doing. But either way, that is all the time we have for now. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Remember to like the videos and subscribe for more, and we will see you all in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Booyah!